Hello my fellow gamers, Gamerdude back once again with another episode in our Just the Facts series. So this week we not only have some new news, but also some good news. Yes, as we have indeed moved well into the new year and the new decade, it's safe to say that development teams are hard at work on new titles for the next gen systems that are coming out this year. That is to say, as opposed to them actually running out of ideas and just doing remakes and remasters for the current generation. Now, today we will be talking about the inevitable sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man, discussing general facts and what we know. And as always, I'll be shoving my own personal thoughts and opinions on the matter as well. You know, there is no doubt in my mind that the next Spider-Man game will be a console exclusive for the PS5, as it's highly doubtful that the PS4 will be able to handle this level of a game. But anyway, with that, let's get on with the show. So, without a doubt, and in this gamer's personal opinion as well, Marvel Spider-Man definitely proved to be one of the best and most iconic console exclusives to date. Not only that, as I said, in this gamer's opinion, I believe it was the best superhero game and best Spider-Man game of the entire generation. I mean, I used to say of the decade, but now I just say of the entire generation, because looking back on all the previous superhero games, Spider-Man PS4 just hands down beats them all. But of course, if you've played Spider-Man PS4, you know it had fantastic gameplay, a beautiful story that wouldn't have felt out of place if it had a part in the MCU or in a comic book. Now, fans have spent countless hours playing the campaign, nabbing all the collectibles, finishing the DLCs, then going to their other PlayStation profile to do it all again. I know I am guilty of said crime. Naturally though, fans are interested in the sequel and when it will be ready. And no doubt, given the two post-credit scenes, we are definitely getting the sequel. It's all but confirmed that it's probably going to be Venom and Green Goblin. Maybe a couple of others. So, when are we getting Marvel Spider-Man sequel? Should we call it Marvel Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man 2? Or Spider-Man PS5? I don't know yet. I mean, I'm kind of liking Marvel Spider-Man 2. I don't know. We'll see where Sony and Insomniac go with that. But when are we getting it? Well, here's the thing. According to a post from Kinda Funny Games, Imran Khan stated, "We could be getting the sequel sometime in holiday 2021. So if you're not living in Europe or Britain, holiday 2021 means it's probably Christmas, because, you know, Americans say holiday instead of actually saying Christmas or New Year or Valentine's Day or whatever. You know, they just say holiday. It's a holiday to them." But that definitely means the sequel will probably land on PS5, which will give anybody an incentive to get a PS5. So Mr. Khan said he knows quite a bit about Insomniac games, upcoming games that is. And, you know, obviously he can't say too much due to a lawsuit or whatever. He didn't specifically say that, but I'm just guessing it's due to a lawsuit. Despite telling us it would indeed be coming out in holiday 2021. But I'll break down and I'll tell you exactly what he said. He said, Spider-Man 2 is probably coming out as a PS5 exclusive, but will not come out as a PS5 launch title. I think it's going to be a holiday 2021 title. I know too much about this, so I can't speculate too much. I think Spider-Man 2 will come sooner than we think. So what this tells me is he has definitely had dealings with someone at Insomniac. He's either worked there, he's gone on a tour, or he's got a friend there that was fired or that still works there that's told him some things that shouldn't have been said. Because he's got some rather specific information regarding the game. You know, it's like he knows a little bit too much. It's like being back in school and that your best friend knows a secret about you, but he won't tell you, and it bugs you for the rest of the year. And then he finally tells you when you leave school, and you're like, "Why didn't you just tell me then? That's been bugging me for years." Anyway, there is definitely a lot for the sequel to explore. Like Miles Morales getting his powers, Mary Jane and Peter Parker's newfound love for each other once again after they'd split up, got back together, split up, and got back together again. And then there was a black cat in the mix, which made them split up and get back together again. But yeah, you get what I'm saying there. We're definitely going to see Green Goblin, like I said, because when you're playing as Mary Jane in that mission, if you look on the table in that secret room where all the spiders are kept, there are pumpkin bombs. And in the main living room, there's a design blueprint for the Green Goblin's mask. And I'm pretty sure somewhere as well there's a design for the glider. Obviously, we saw the symbiote, which means we're going to have Venom or possibly even Carnage. Maybe even both. Don't know yet, because this universe is a little bit dodgy, because they've only just introduced Doc Ock as a villain, and Peter Parker's been Spider-Man for 8 years. So it's a little bit weird for them to introduce Doc Ock now, considering Doc Ock was one of Spider-Man's first big bads. But, you know, it's a different story, you know, it's a different universe, you can't really say much about it, but, you know, Insomniac goes how they want to go with it. But simply put, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 has the potential to be one of the best video game sequels out there, maybe becoming an even better success than Arkham City was, maybe even a better game in general. So now you've heard my ramblings, which sound like the ramblings of a delusional madman, just excited to see another superhero game. Let's actually get into some proper factual details rather than just mixing things up with my own opinions. So, there has been a few more leaks regarding new villains and story details. You know, as I said, it's more than likely we'll get Green Goblin and Venom. But I've found some interesting information regarding this. As one of the PlayStation's most lucrative exclusives, you know, alongside God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man is largely expected to receive its much needed sequel. An independent studio prior to the original game's release, Sony has since acquired Insomniac Games as an sort of internal first-party developer, which means Insomniac Games will be Sony's main deliverer of any future game titles they decide to release. So Spider-Man, obviously. But a move that has Spider-Man 2 written definitely all over it, because Sony, of course, they held the rights to Spider-Man for quite some time, and then they gave it back to Marvel. I think what Marvel and Sony have done is they've made a specific deal about it. You know, they've said, right, here you go. You can have the movies, you can do whatever you want with Spider-Man in the movies, and Sony have said, let us have all exclusive rights to the games. And Disney have been like, yeah, sure, whatever. And Sony have then purchased Insomniac Games so they can do their own sort of Spider-Man universe. I don't know, that's just more speculation. But anyway, before I get into call this just the speculations with Gamerdude, let's keep going on with the facts. But it is worth noting, of course, that such a project remains far from official at this point in time. However, with both Sony and Microsoft next-gen hardware due out later this year, the former is expected to reveal a number of highly requested sequels alongside the sleek new consoles. Since Sony has actually pulled out of E3 once again this year, it's unlikely that we'll hear anything on Spider-Man probably until the gaming conference in December that Sony do actually attend. I mean, the gaming conference, Gamescom in December, it's basically a mini E3. You know, it's kind of like an end of the year E3. We technically do get two E3s in the year. We get We get the proper E3, which gives you the main big titles that are due out in the next couple of years, or the ones that have been teased for this year. Well, the year that the E3 is going on for, you know what I mean. And then we get Gamescom at the end of the year, which teases games that are coming out the following year or that are coming out for the rest of December. But with both Sony and Microsoft due to make their new consoles this year, it's it's one of those highly requested things that fans really want to see. I mean, I was really hoping that it would be a launch title, and a lot of other fans were hoping the same. But I'll get into detail on it in a little bit because I've got a few more details regarding the game. But it is highly unlikely that it will be a launch title just because of the sheer size of the game itself. But according to a recent leak on Reddit, if you can believe anything on Reddit, but yeah, let's go for it. It's been officialized, let's say. It seems development of the follow-up is much further along than many would have perhaps dared hope. I mean, it's probably clear that development on the next Spider-Man game started immediately after this one was finished. But the post in question, authorized by a user, provides a ton of details surrounding returning characters, new villains, story details, the majority of which I will now read to you. So, the villains of the story. We have Venom, obviously, we saw that in the post-credits. Green Goblin, obviously, again, we saw that in the post-credits. Carnage. Now, I said this earlier because we saw the Venom symbiote. It is highly likely we will see the Carnage symbiote as well. Mysterio, which, of course, also did get teased in the first game. I really do hope they do fishbowl jokes. I was disappointed in Spider-Man Far From Home when they didn't do any fishbowl jokes. Why didn't Peter Parker drop any fishbowl jokes? It's just wrong. You can't have Mysterio without fishbowl jokes. Anyway. Also, the Lizard is supposedly supposed to be making an appearance, which is really cool, again, because we haven't seen the Lizard in a Spider-Man video game since the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3. And, that was sort of like an extra add-in to the game because he wasn't in the film. So they added it in as a little extra in the game to make the game a little bit longer. Also, apparently, cloning will play an important role in the narrative and is likely to be tied to Oscorp. Now, if they're going down the cloning road, we're probably going to see Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, the other Scarlet Spider, which was the clone of Peter Parker, which took up the role of the other Scarlet Spider, which then grew to hate the other Peter Parker and tried to kill that Peter Parker, and then that one became the Carnage symbiote. You know, we saw it in the 1990s Spider-Man series. I really do recommend you watch that if you haven't already, guys. Of course, Manhattan will return as the primary open world location, though with a vastly expanded area of exploration. We'll probably get iterations of the boroughs, such as Queens and Brooklyn. We'll probably get New Jersey, we'll get Staten Island, Liberty Island, Ellis Island, all that. Miles Morales will, of course, be once again a playable character, though primary focus will probably be on Peter Parker. But as I've said, as a fan of the Spider-Man series, I know whenever Miles Morales shows up, Peter Parker dies. It's just a well-known fact that Miles Morales shows up and Peter Parker dies. I mean, look at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Miles showed up, Peter Parker died. Simple. That's how it goes. They do that in every single version of Spider-Man so they can introduce Miles as the new Spider-Man. And if Miles is going to be a playable character, if we're going to be learning his powers, I'm guessing that, I don't know, we'll see flashbacks of Spider-Man's Peter Parker. We just won't know it's a flashback until the end of the game or something. Like, maybe Miles will be monologuing about the past. So there's definitely a lot to process here. You know, there's a lot to be said about this game, and you know, for so many people to have such intimate knowledge or intimate information of the game, it kind of makes you wonder if this has been deliberately dropped, you know, if Insomniac have said, you know what, we're gonna allow this. But it all does sound incredibly believable. But we should stress that everything, well, I should stress that everything up to this point is absolutely unconfirmed. Until Insomniac or Sony say anything, I'm not putting any truth to what I've said here. I'm just going off what I've found and what everyone else has been saying. You know, I'm not one of those YouTubers that says, this is happening, listen to me, I'm always right. You guys know that. You guys know that. But another Reddit post user states that what they've so far learned comes directly from a source close to Insomniac Games. And while I'd definitely love nothing more than to take the mystery individual's word for it, again, nothing is set completely in stone until Sony or Insomniac say otherwise. But, you know, guys, we can only hope. You know, maybe it will be a PS5 launch title. We just don't know yet. But with any luck, we'll catch our first glimpse of Spider-Man 2 during reveal season this summer. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think we're going to see a reveal for it this year? Do you think it's going to get revealed at E3? Do you think it's going to get revealed at Sony's special game conference because they're not going to appear at E3? Do you think it's going to get announced at Gamescom in December? Or do you think it's just going to get randomly announced at some point this year and they're like, right, you've got to wait so for it. You've got to wait so long for it. But yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope I expanded your gaming knowledge and gave you an inside look into the future of the Spider-Man franchise. So, of course, as you guys know, Sundays I'm taking off, Tuesdays I'm taking off, and any other day of the week that I don't do a live stream or I don't do any content, it's just because I've either fallen asleep or I'm busy. You know, I'm a content creator. I provide this all for you, but if I'm busy, I'm busy. I'm sorry. You know, I can't be there all the time. But anyway, shout out to all subscribers, old and new. I really can't believe we've hit that amazing goal of 1K, and I really can't thank you all enough for the continuous support and views of my content. I will, of course, continue to bring you the best content I can. Let's see if we can get to 1,200 subs by the end of the year. That'd be dope. You know, we could earn 200 more subs by the end of the year. Maybe we can earn a little bit more. So if you're new to the channel, don't hesitate to smash the like button and drop me a subscribe and share me around to your friends if you enjoy my content. All my videos are in playlists for your convenience as well. And I always sub back to new subscribers, and I do try to view any content you may be producing. So that being said then, this has been Just the Facts with Gamerdude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.